Hi, I'm romance author Lori Thorne, and this is my weekly writing vlog, Good Time Writing. Welcome aboard. I'm going to tell you what I've been focusing on this week, which we're going to jump right in, has been outlining my next book, HOA of Horror. And because I've been focusing really heavily on doing that and the character development, I figured this is a good thing to talk about. So authors have all sorts of different methods of outlining and world building and considering their plot structure. And I've seen some fascinating methods with like sticky notes, which I'm always so impressed with. But I prefer personally to keep things digital, but visual, because I am a visual person. And so I use a lot of spreadsheets. So what have I been doing to develop the story? Well, first you kind of start with the basics. So you have the main idea of the story, who the characters are, how they interact with each other, where it's taking place. And I get that main idea, and then I kind of start with my characters first. So I have a spreadsheet of my characters. This is very helpful because it includes things like their name and age and appearance, but also their occupation, how their social life is, what their backstory is, lots of things like that that are going to contribute to their wholeness as a person. And when I have it in a spreadsheet, I can kind of look across these rows and columns and say, does this person make sense? Does the way that they act in social behavior make sense? Let's take my main character in the story, Mabel Hughes, right? She is a stenographer, and she's done much of her work as a court reporter. And because of her experience there, she is really good at reading body language. Like that's just something she picks up on really naturally, which is key to the story. And she knows legalese, right? She can read documents and memorize them without much fuss. It's just an easy thing for her to do because she's got so much practice with it. And so these are important. And I want to make sure that they're baked in, and she is a complete character. And the same with other people. So that's just an example. But even like it informs her wardrobe, right? In this situation, she has two different types of wardrobes. She's got her professional court reporter look, and she dances on the side. It's a very interesting sort of thing. So she has two looks and that's it. She's gonna have to end up shopping for a black tie function because she wouldn't have that in her wardrobe. Anyway, enough about characters. That's how I do mine to make sure that they're a complete sort of person. And you can have that to reference, which is great because you are going to forget, are this guy's eyebrows heavy or thin? And you can go back as you're writing and look it up easily instead of searching through your text. And you can also add to it as you go. The other thing that I do is after that's done is go through the chapters. So it's a very similar thing. In fact, it's on the same document. I just make another table below my characters, and I start with chapter 1, and I put bullet points for what I think is going to happen in chapter 1. Now with this story, I bulleted all the way down. I'm in the 20s right now. I'm almost done with the outline for it, at least for the first draft of the outline. And I just do exactly that, bullet, bullet, bullet. I don't spend a huge amount of time thinking about these things because they are going to change when I start writing the story. I'll have new ideas that are better and that I want to put in. The characters will lead me in ways that I couldn't have anticipated before writing. I'll have parts that I don't think are as powerful when I write them out and I want to remove and replace. And those bullets are going to be ending up copied and pasted into different locations. But the reason it's important to do this, first of all, is because it really gives you insight into your story and prepares you for what is to come, making writing easier because you have that more full idea of what's going to happen and where you're going. But also you can check things like that your subplots are woven kind of throughout and make sense. that the timing makes sense. Where's the peak tension? Is it where you want it to be in the story? Probably not chapter 1, right? But is it moving fast enough to keep people reading? So just having that, super, super helpful. And I'm excited because I'm almost done with this. I'm at the point now where there's probably just a few more chapters to bullet point out before I can then go back and read through my bullet points and check for the things I just talked about, like how's the pace of the story going? Do I need to move things around to adjust that? So that's just me, but it works for me. I really love this method. Apart from finishing up the outline of the story I'm working on, I have been writing in my other whips. I did about 2,000 words this week. I haven't written today yet, so it'll be a little bit more. And that is frustratingly slow, but I'm doing all of this other planning and there's just only so much time in a day. So I'm trying to give myself grace and not be pressured-y to produce more words, but I'm very eager to have at least one of these wrapped, or at least to like the editing phase where it's not writing. And I'm pretty close. I'm about 80% of the way there with Dirty Hands. So I'm looking at you, Dirty Hands. I really want you to get to that editing phase. And we'll get there. And in outstanding news, my Barnes & Noble book signing in Asheville is tomorrow. The car is packed except for my sign. Obviously, I was gonna film this first and then I'll pack that away too so it can be at my table. But I've got so much swag, recipes, stickers, bookmarks. This event, I always make, for Barnes & Noble especially, I always make events on Facebook and try to spread the word that way. And so I get an idea of how many people might come. And this event has more responses than I've ever gotten with any other event before. So I'm stoked. I can't wait to see everyone and meet new people and sign some books. And that's all for this week. It's been a busy week. But let's do Vote Your Whip. I have 3 lines. One of them is a little bit spicy. I'm gonna go ahead and warn you. Okay. It's not illicit because then I wouldn't put it on YouTube, but we'll see. Let me know which one of these lines is your favorite from the words I put down this week. Number 1, that infectious, coy smile of his creeps up his face, and gods, I could fall right into those deep blue eyes and make an oceanic home there. Number 2, that bag of flour could have exploded, coating us and my entire apartment, and I wouldn't have cared. That's coming from a neat Nick, so it's meaningful. And number 3, what's happening behind my zipper is in juxtaposition to Fiona's supple pout. Which is your favorite line? Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you next week.